Hi Libra, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your journal messages for the 31st to June 6th. Let's get right into things. So, big deal with Cancer. Venus entering Cancer this week. This is going to be happening in your 10th house. So I'll be talking about that throughout the readings. I'm first going to pull a general spread, all areas of life, however it's going to impact you. It could be work, family situation, romance, anything like that. And then I'm going to do a separate spread after that for relationship only. I'll timestamp for the relationship only read in the description box below. Also, you will find a 20% discount code for my June special reading. I'm offering two, one tarot only, one with birth chart placements. Either a lover's read. I know not everyone is in a relationship, and I'm doing that because it's Gemini season and Gemini is the lover's energy. But not everyone's in a relationship. So you could apply the same reading to a friend or a family member if you wanted to. Don't make sure if you're going to order one, guys, make sure if you do order the one with the birth chart that you know everyone's exact birth time, because it's got to be, I would be looking at how the charts speak to each other. So to just have one person's is not enough. I need everyone's birth information. We have soulmate energy here. So the soulmate energy could show up even for breathe. A lot of people are getting that. Yeah, you know, as I'm doing this as the eclipse just hit a few hours ago now at this point. So yeah, everybody needs to breathe right now. Just in general. All right. Soulmate energy is, we get the strength energy here popping out. Very nice. Leo energy. Might be dealing with a Leo. The need for balance in a situation. It does seem like Libra. So let's see. Need to balance. Let's see what's challenging that is the Six of Wands. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have going on here. So yeah, the soulmate energy is not only for romance. We have soulmates, soul contracts with people in any area of our life, right? It could even be really deep friendship, family connection, somebody that we're in business with, someone that we're meant to travel on our journey with and learn lessons from, right? We're not meant to learn lessons from absolutely everybody in our life. So it is believed in what I've been taught here. Yeah, so soulmate energy and breathe. So it does indicate to me, so whenever I get a soulmate energy from the wisdom of the oracle, to me that's indicating lesson. So there's some sort of lesson either that you're in the middle of, that you're going through, that you needed to learn, but there's some sort of lesson associated with this. And you like, I'm telling you what you already know, right? And so that might be making you feel a particular way this week. And so the energy here does suggest to breathe deeply. Let's get right into this spread, and then I'll sort of weave the astrology in, like I said. So there is some confusion. You're having some confusion about something because there are choices. So there might be a couple of people that you're choosing between. If there has to do with relationship, there could be choices having to do with career, a path that you want to take, some sort of situation that you might be dealing with regarding family, but it's extreme. And it's like, because of this confusion, there's this issue with commitment. So you might be dealing with somebody who's confused about committing to something. You might be confused about committing to something. Even if you're knee deep in something, your heart may not be fully in it. And the idea here is sort of this up in the air feeling, right? You're not sure what's real, what's not. Things feel sort of ungrounded. And the thing, though, at the same time with this energy is you can very much feel that you're at the beginning stages of something new. So this could indicate a new project that you're a part of, that you're just not sure how it's going to go. And that's where the fear of committing to it is. You might be in the situation where there are a lot of changes going on in your relationship, and it's or even in relationship, and it's less that the motivating factor behind the lack of commitment is because who knows, everything's up in the air. I don't know what the other side of this is going to look like, and there could be fear in that, right? Because this is a Venus and Scorpio energy in astrology. And so obviously Venus is really wanting, first of all, when it's in Scorpio, it wants things to be fair. It's this recognition that there's some sort of regeneration of something. There's some sort of because wherever Scorpio is, there's endings and beginnings, and there's rumination, and there's obsession, and there's also just fear, right? Scorpio energy does just naturally hold a lot of fear. So, and when Venus is in it, Venus is about love, it's about money, it's about how do I feel in this? Well, it's like, how do I feel about this change? I'm not sure what's on the other side of it, right? So that's what you guys are kind of coming into this energy like this, you know? And I feel like, though, at the same time, as we enter into this week, there's going to be a little bit of a shift in your energy here, right? Because on the 31st, we have Mars in Cancer. By the way, Mars is going to be in Cancer. The Cancer energy is going to be in your 10th house. So let's just talk about that for a second. 10th house has to do with not only your career. That's the default. It's more than that. It's your career. It's your public reputation. It's your standing in the world. It's your marriage, right? It's your institution of marriage. It is what you're known as, right? So parent, wife, husband, you know, what you do, your reputation out in the world. Not only having to do with your career, but just in general, like how do people know you? What do people think of you, right? And it's all of this, okay? So we have Mars is there, and then also on the 3rd, Venus is entering Cancer in there as well. So a lot of 10th house focus in that way, having to do with the Venusian aspect and Mars aspect. But on the 31st, Mars is in Cancer and it's trining, which is a beautiful energy, Neptune in Pisces. So this is going to be happening between your 10th house, which I just mentioned, and your 6th house. 6th house has to do with your day-to-day work experience. So there's a lot of focus on work for many of you. But the 6th house also is your mental, physical, and emotional health, and it also has to do with your pets, okay? So we have this very almost mystical, spiritual energy that's going to be playing between your 10th and your 6th house, where you're going to feel like destiny is very at play. Things are sort of shifting, almost like you almost feel like there are things going on beyond your control. And I suppose that's always the case, but we don't always feel it like we're going to be feeling it, okay? So that's on the 31st. Then on the 2nd, Venus enters Cancer in that 10th house, okay? So for you guys, you're going to be feeling this a lot in this 10th house energy. So you're really going to want and desire a lot of harmony in work, which is really beautiful. But I do want to mention that Venus does have a shadow side, and we have to just be mindful of this. We don't want to hyper focus on it, but we just want to be mindful of it. And the thing is, Venus does not like competition. By house, we always have to look at the by house. So the fact that 10th house is career, public reputation, you know, issues in marriage, anything like that, that 10th house energy, if there's any element of competition, we could end up feeling rivalrous. We could end up feeling envious of people who might be better off than us, where somebody else maybe has a better marriage or better career or something like that. It could really hit any area of life, right? Anything that really is focusing on this area. But as a result, we can end up using things like seduction, innocent, not so innocent, deceit, or any other strategy to secure something in your eye, right? At least that your eye rather is aimed at possessing, right? Or going towards. Because when Venus is running in her shadow self, this could be a very messy energy in that 10th house area, right? So there is always that. I always like to say that, right? Even when we're talking about Jupiter, I like to mention the shadow manifestation, because if you are having challenges in your life and you're dealing with challenging personalities and challenging energies, the illuminated element might not show up and you won't even resonate with the reading, right? So I want to throw it out there where it could be, on the one hand, Venus in Cancer in that 10th house, you know, is a very like, yeah, kind of want to be at one with my career. I want to grow. I want to feel good at what I'm doing. I want to make money. This is, you know, and you're all about that. And that's the energy that you're exuding. But if you're dealing with issues because of other people, that shadow manifestation can end up popping in. And we really can understand why she makes such a great partner for Mars, which Mars is going to be in there with her. Right? Because Venus really is about tempering, tempering any sort of imbalance, right? And this could end up being, to a certain extent, it can be a little painful, because in that mode, right, she believes that a certain amount of suffering, a certain amount of strife, a certain amount of challenge is needed to bring us into better harmony and balance if we have swung too far in a direction that's not ultimately meant for our higher good. And that is where the Mars energy shows up. You know what I mean? And you guys are going to be feeling this, because by June 3rd, you're going to have Venus and Mars in this 10th house together in Cancer. And Mars is all about, are you on the right path? Cancer is all about, do I feel safe and secure in this? And Venus is all about, is everything fair? How is it looking? So if you're feeling any sort of where things are not equitable, whether it's in a business transaction, a relationship situation, a family situation, anything that could end up kicking up particularly that 10th house energy, but I'm going to add the 4th house to it as well, because that works opposite it, right? So there's going to be tension felt there, having to do with home, having to do with the idea of home, right? So just as a little heads up, okay, guys, that's what you're going to be feeling. It's a beautiful energy, but some of you might be feeling a little challenged depending on what else is going on in your life, okay? So we have the Strength card as the central focus here, as the situation right now, and that's being challenged by the beautiful Six of Wands. This is a minor arcana, but it's a great energy, right? This is about deserved success, great energy if you feel like you've been struggling lately. If this has to do with relationship, feelings being shared, well received, positive communication coming in. Honestly, guys, I like this. Now, there's so much potential for calming a situation down, okay? Really high potential. But the challenge here is, because when we have the Six of Wands as a block, it means that the block is sharing the feelings, positive communication, right? But it's necessary, because there's some sort of balance that needs to be had in some sort of situation, whether it's an issue at work, an issue within family, an issue within your marriage or relationship, or significant even friendship or other relationship in your life. There needs to be something balanced here. And the thing is, this positive energy, meaning the Strength energy is like, look, this is good, especially if you feel like things have been tested. Things are going to get better, but you just have to balance. But the challenge is in being able to make that happen. And look, you know, we do have Mercury is going to be retrograde, right? I mean, Mercury is going to be retrograde at this point, and that's okay. It doesn't mean the world is falling apart. Mercury is retrograde half the flipping time, just is. It just means that our ability to communicate is going to be slowed down so that we can look at something a lot more closely, right? And for you guys, this is going to be particularly on June 5th, right? We have this energy happening between your 9th and your 6th house. So Mercury in Gemini is going to be retrograde in your 9th house of your belief system, your moral code, your moral compass, higher education, foreign land, foreign travel, all of that. But it's also negotiating. It's also your in-laws. So 9th house is that sometimes the houses are many things at once, right? So I'm not looking to be confusing, but it's all of these. It's marketing, it's advertising, it's negotiating, it's your in-laws, it's your belief system, it's your religion, it's how you think things should be. Now, that's going to be squared. Now, Mercury's retrograde here in Gemini, which is all about communication, right? It's going to be retrograde. It's going to be slowing down to look back. It's going to be squaring, though, Neptune and Pisces. So, and where is that happening? Neptune and Pisces, your 6th house of your day-to-day experience, just like your day-to-day. How you feeling about your life, right? That's the mental, physical, emotional health, your day-to-day, how you feel in your job, right? It's a big house, right? So these two together, this square, is going to push you to make sure that you get all the facts before you make any kind of decision, and you have to keep your mind really open. So it's kind of like this, with the Strength being challenged by the Six of Wands. You know that something needs to be balanced. You almost have the script written in your head, right? But the thing is, you might not be able to communicate effectively as you would like to. Now, that could be because you feel, depending on where Mercury is in your chart, you might just feel energetically like, I'm trying to be so clear and it's just not translating well. Some of you might be feeling that. Others of you may literally not have all the information to a situation. So you want to be careful if you're going to go in and talk about belief systems, or we have to figure this out, we're going to negotiate, and kind of come at it like that. You might not be either have all of the information, or you might not be as effective as you would like to. So definitely breathe here and look for the lesson in whatever is being sort of held back from you, not moving forward. Maybe you need to think about something differently. Maybe you need to think about more out of the box about something. We have the Ten of Pentacles as the crowning energy. I mean, this is great. Ten of Pentacles it's a family energy. So this could have something to do with some sort of family situation, whether it's an inheritance, the settling of something, some sort of family business, some sort of family situation that you guys are going through, some sort of family drama could certainly be that. But there is this element of being there for each other here with this, right? Being there together as a family. It's about maturity. It's about deepening of commitment, shared values. And again, this is a property energy. So that's what I'm talking like about inheritance. It literally is an inheritance energy, legacy, the idea of that, or the sharing. Now, the Ten of Pentacles could also indicate like maybe getting help from a family member who's able to help you, maybe invest in something, buy a home, something like that. Could be helping you and your partner, whatever. This is also, hey, let's get married, right? Let's create together. Let's create a legacy. Let's come sharing, right? Let's deepen this. Let's mature it, that kind of thing. Let's become family, right? So this could certainly be one of the energies that you guys are dealing with, which is entirely beautiful. It's very positive in that way. Some of you who are married already, this may be very the center of the conversation, the communication, meaning, look, it's time for us to level this up, right? Are we going to get married? Are we going to have a baby? Are we going to deepen this and make this bigger and more than it is, right? Where we're growing together as an energy. But I feel like, Libra, you might be dealing with somebody who, or this could be you, but I feel like I'm being called to say that this is an energy that you're dealing with. The King of Pentacles, generous energy, hardworking. You know, it's an Aries and Taurus energy. It's Aries is fire, Taurus is very grounded, very earthy, but it's this very practical energy, okay? And it's somebody who wants to make the most out of their assets, wants to is very, very content in who they are and how they run things, okay? So what ends up happening with this energy, though, is while they have a lot of really good qualities, this is somebody who doesn't have a lot of patience for anyone looking to take what's his. So this is the kind of energy where I'm not necessarily going to say that this is a generous energy, but this is somebody who's like, look, I'll give you the world if that's what you want, but you have to show up too, right? And so it's like, I'm willing to show up in this, but are you, kind of thing. So you saying it to somebody, or somebody saying it to you, or you and someone saying it to each other. Because what I feel like is the energy of wanting to make the most out of something, and not, there's a lack of willingness to, again, give up what feels rightfully either yours or theirs, whether it has to do with money, assets, or just the person, right? Like this, the King of Pentacle energy doesn't have any patience for anyone who's looking to come in and change them. Well, I don't like when you do A, B, and C, and you need to not do that anymore, right? Where there's not a lack of compromise. There's more of like, this is what you need to do. You're not going to have any patience for anybody coming in to tell you to do A, B, and C either. You're going to be very, very open to compromise, but you're not going to be open to selling your soul. Not that anybody should, right? But just leave, you guys are the scales, right? That your glyph is the scales. So you're very fair, and you're very, you're willing to listen to different things. But you're going to have this point where it's like, all right, look, enough is enough. Like, I get where things might not be fair. We have to really hear each other about what's going on here so that we could come to a meeting of the minds together, and it not be, well, you did this and you have to do that and you have to do this and right? It really has to be that. Hermit, Virgo energy, totally in the energy, Virgo, of solving problems right now. If this has to do with a relationship, again, problem solving energy. If by chance you're not in a relationship, that's because whatever you were in up to this point hasn't been meant for you. And it's time for you to do some beautiful work on yourself and think about the past experiences that you've had so that you don't repeat any mistakes in the future. Now, if you're in a relationship, this is a time to invest more energy to really work on smoothing over whatever's going on. If this has to do with a career or money situation, it's time to just step back and look at what's not working. You might feel like it's time to try a different strategy, a different path, something different. But there is this sort of like pressing the pause button, stepping back and saying, all right, I have to look at this. I want to solve this problem, right? That's what the hermit goes to the top of the mountain to do. He doesn't go to the top of the mountain to just sit there and look at the birds. He's going up there to solve some problems. And you're going to be all about it because honestly, you feel pushed to this point where you've been sidestepping stuff, busying yourself in other things, but now you're going to feel very pushed in this energy to make some real, and go, Libra, go, making some good decisions, right? Go, Libra, go with those. Seven of Pentacles is the energy that's external to you, that's influencing you. Very nice energy here. I love this energy. Seven of Pentacles is very patient. There's such a strong potential for success here. Whatever your situation is, don't give up. You're going to be able to figure it out. This may be a week of figuring it out. All right, you're almost there. There is a new cycle starting for you, always with the Seven of Pentacles, right? It's where the Four of the World and the Three of the Trinity meet. It's in other words, it's where heaven and earth meet. And heaven and earth meet specifically to start a new cycle. Very nice. It's a Saturn and Taurus energy in astrology, but I always feel like the Libra point in the chart, which is like this new cycle. And now we have your challenges, the Nine of Cups, and this is the block. You're just not happy in something, whether it's that job, whether it's that marriage, that relationship. This isn't what you want. You're having such a hard time manifesting what it is that you really want, whether it's a new romance, a great friendship, that job that you want, building that career, dealing with something. A lot of you may just be in this situation as well, where you're trying really hard to get past things in the past, and you're having this really difficult time allowing old stresses and old tensions and things from the past to just dissolve. You might be having a hard time letting go of stuff because you can't unsee certain things. You can't not feel certain things that were incredibly disappointing or incredibly painful, right? It's hard for us to go back to that, right? When we have this poor experience, and to go back into something with a very trusting mindset, it's not an easy energy. For sure. So we have the Knight of Wands in the near future. So this is, firing up your ambition. This is about influences and ideas and proposals, something like that, hitting your life and speeding things up, right? This is about blocks being lifted, decisions coming in in an area that you've been feeling very indecisive about. So I like this because this is sort of like the other side of the Hermit here. It's like you're thinking here and then you're making the decision in the near future. So this is good. And getting very focused on what it is that you want. There's Scorpio and Sagittarius energy. Okay. Just make sure you're not dealing with any energies that are like player energies. Or be careful if you're doing that. Because, with this month, and we have that solar eclipse, it's going to be ending on June 10th. Oh, a lot of lights are going to be popping on, and a lot of things are going to be exposed. So just make sure you're functioning in a lot of integrity. If you're doing anything like shady behind the scenes, anything like that, Libra, like try to temper it at least a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. And then we have the Chariot energy as the final outcome. Really nice. Let's just pull some clarifiers on that. Chariot's all about moving away from toxicity towards your metaphorical home space, towards something that makes you feel better. Not only feel better, it's where you're meant to go. You want to think about it like this. Remember what I said about Mars? Mars is very concerned about us being on our rightful path. That's why Mars is the tower in tarot, right? Because Mars comes in and is like, that's not right for you. Boom, right? Take that down. I've been showing you the red flags. You've been ignoring them. So now I got to come in and help you out. So what happens when something falls apart? Well, Mars comes in and picks us up and puts us on the Chariot and says, go forward towards the Cancer energy, towards your metaphorical home space. Because this place where you've been, it's not where you belong. You belong there. Get on the Chariot and go. That's kind of like what's going on here. And guess what? After you do that, there's a whole new beginning for you. What's going on? Now, for some of you, if this has to do with relationships, this is getting over past obstacles, getting what you want, right? It's very much a thoughts becoming things kind of energy. Very auspicious for pretty much actually any area of life. Because it's all about new beginnings, decisions, clear thinking in love, in work, any other area, right? But it's an immediate change to your circumstances for the better. So there's going to be a lot of mental agility here, which is always a beautiful thing for a Libra to experience. There's going to be, you just want to make sure that first of all, being assertive in something and not very laid back is going to work in your favor. But you just want to make sure that you're not aggressive about anything. That's the only thing. Temperance is going to be really good for you, and you guys are good at that. So just make sure you temper a particular situation. So this is very interesting because it's like, while you know that some sort of decision that you're making is totally the right one in the moment, you know what I mean? Because that struggle with indecision that you guys have, it's going to be some anxiety having to do with it. Okay, so you know that. This could be the energy of overwhelm, trouble sleeping, depressed. There might be this like inherent concern about how things are going to be rolling out. You may feel like in the moment that you're not responding very well to the external stress because your way out of something or forward in something is not completely clear to you. So just understand that. I just feel like there's going to be a time of being like anxious, even though you have these beautiful, and it's just funny that, and it's not funny, it's interesting that you have the Nine of Swords in between these two aces. That's okay. Libra, it's going to be okay. Truly. You have to believe that. This is such a nice energy. This is such strong love and support in existing relationships. This is a very beautiful energy for spiritual growth, something that matters a lot to you coming to fruition. This is about also loving key emotional events like getting pregnant, anything that's connected to the idea of being fertile or fertility. So that could be buying a house, growing a business, again, growing a family, growing a relationship, something like that. Beautiful. Prioritizing parenting, falling in love. Some of you may have a new love coming in. But we have the end, there's the end of something stressful. So just be like, oh, thank God that's done. Right? It's an ending here, and there's a history to this. And the final ripping off of the Band-Aid of something might be really painful, but it's the end of a challenging time for you. And now you're going to just be able to go forward in a much healthier energy with fresh eyes and a new mindset, as long as you don't allow your emotions to run the show, right? Really rely on your logic. Stay outwardly calm if you can. Not your emotions, right? Not your emotions. And then we have the Two of Wands. So this final two cards, we have the Two of Wands and we have the King of Wands here, okay? So listen, Libra, you're just like, let me out of here. Let me out of this job. Let me out of this relationship. Get me out of this marriage. Get me out of this friendship. Get me out of this crazy family situation, get me out. I mean, that really is kind of like, this is the Two of Wands, a great energy. It's Mars in Aries. It's moving forward. It's making plans, moving forward, right? This has to do with partnership energy. Some of you might even be meeting somebody new, maybe through work or friends, but it's like this moving forward. But there are two aspects to a situation. Two aspects, and you're going to need to figure something out. I mean, overall, this is a really nice energy, right? And whatever you're moving into is going to allow you to elevate up from where you are right now, right? So this could be in your personal life, this could be in your public life, but the thing is, here we have the King of Wands. You totally want to just be a free spirit here. I mean, this is just like, this is where you're at right now, right? But you want to make sure that as you express what it is that you want and where it is that you want to go, you don't want to get tripped up in the idea that you have to be perfect, that something has to be perfect, that someone has to be perfect. There's no such thing. You're perfect exactly as you are. Do not doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let that other side of the scale kind of win and be like, I know I really want that, but I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. Something is going on here for sure. Lots of lessons that are being learned here, whether this is with a family member, a partner, a relationship partner, a business partner. A lot of lessons are being learned here, but this is where I see this particular situation going. So that's what I have for that read. Now let's move on to relationship only, okay? So for some of you, this is going to be an add-on to this reading if you resonated with this for your relationship. Some of you will not. This may be a separate read. Okay. So anything else I wanted to talk to you about for this particular week? I mentioned the Mercury retrograde squaring Neptune and Pisces. Oh, also on the 5th, we have Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto and Capricorn. This is the only kind of like snafu-y energy I feel like you might be dealing with. This is an aggressive aspect, keeping it real. And this could lead to sort of some hurt feelings and maybe even some dramatic arguments. Now that Mars in Cancer again is in that 10th house, and the Pluto and Capricorn is in your 4th house of home. So there could be arguments with a marital partner. There could be arguments, especially those of you working from home. There could be just tension, right, between the work area and your home life, or your work and how secure and safe do you feel in it, you know? And so there could be some sort of situation that you're dealing with there by the end of the week, okay? Dreams having to do with relationship. Soulmate again, for goodness sake. What's going on here? Let's do one more. Love. Ooh. Dream, soulmate, love. I say Libra. That's kind of lovely. It just is, right? It just is. It's just trying to think, like, do you have any more? You know, thinking about that, the 9th house, 5th house energy that you guys are going to be dealing with on June 3rd with the sun in Gemini, trining Saturn in Aquarius, thinking about future goals, long-term goals. I just feel like that might be a very nice energy here for relationship, where you guys are going to be doing a lot of discussing, many of you can be, about the future and your shared belief system and what it is that you want to do, and allowing yourself to sort of go there, right? Because that 5th house is falling in love, love affairs, relationship. And 9th house is your belief system, right? Which deck do we want? What are we feeling for Libra? Let's do Tarot de la Nuit for our Libra friends, okay? Tarot de la Nuit for our Libra friends. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Any messages? Spirit, any messages that Libra needs to understand about relationship right now? 3 of Wands. Crossed by the 3 of Swords. 2 threes. Stagnation. When 3 crosses a 3, there's stagnation, because 3 is the number of growth. Growth and healing. So okay. Okay, so we have major arcana judgment coming into this energy. So having to do with relationship. Ooh, really figuring it out. Trying to figure assessment. Love is assessed, and it shifts into a new phase. So for some of you, you might be in the space of reconciling with somebody if things have been either not so good, if you have been separated. Some of you are going to be in the space of needing to reconcile the reality of something within the relationship, right? So it depends on where you're at. But obviously the reconciliation for those of you who are not together, or those of you who are in a bad space, only if you deem the relationship worthwhile, right? It's going to be different for each of you. If you're single, you might revisit an old relationship here. Yeah, just see if it's worth trying again. If you're dealing with a narcissist, keep him back there, right? No thanks, right? Now, some of you, if you're partnered and everything is okay, you guys may be in the space of making a decision about a property. Maybe you guys are buying a home or selling a home or doing something like that. Or maybe you're drawn to some sort of old property or some place that holds very happy memories for you, right? But at the very least, the judgment energy really is about forgiving yourself. It is. It's letting go of the past and making a decision about the past. And it's through that letting go and that decision that you end up having, it sounds very dramatic to say a spiritual awakening, but it kind of is. Because you're going to be realizing something. There's something that's going to be occurring to you. Well, that has, right? This is the recent past, so forgive me for misspeaking there. So we have the Three of Wands, and it's being challenged by the Three of Swords. So Three of Wands is an energy of support, healing, emotional healing, great energy for a new relationship, great energy for creation as well. So this is one of the pregnancy energies. Now, you may be in a situation, obviously this is not going to apply to everybody, but you may be in a situation where you're trying to get pregnant and you're realizing that you can't, or maybe something happened if you're trying to get pregnant, right? We have these three here. Again, this is this stagnation, this sort of snuffing out of something. So however that could be. So challenges with a pregnancy or getting pregnant, challenges feeling supported in a relationship, being able to grow a relationship. And what's challenging it is the card of pain, heartbreak, pain of a truth though, betrayal, depression. So but whatever's going on here, the lights are getting turned on. So any confusion is going to be gone, and you're going to be in a position where you can just begin to move on from the shock or pain of something to just really start some real healing. That's the situation right now. I sense a lot of stagnation. There's not a lot of support. There's sadness. So some of you just sort of may be in this very unhappy space in relationship. You're not moving forward. You're not moving back. You just kind of are. Or you guys are not together, but you alone are having a really hard time moving forward in something. We have the crowning energy, and the best to be achieved is the Ace of Wands. This is all about, Ace is always new, right? It's a new chapter of passion. This is very auspicious energy for new beginnings. Very auspicious. We have the Knight of Wands here. So the Knight of Wands is about blocks being lifted, decisions being made, you going forward, firing up your ambition, just moving forward. If this is somebody that you're meeting, though, I have to say, because the Ace of Wands can indicate meeting somebody new, a new passionate energy. This is a very passionate energy as well. This could be somebody who's very creative, very innovative, very motivating, lots of stories to tell. They might be very impatient, though, and maybe make very snap judgments about people based on first impressions. It could be very charismatic, a very talkative partner, very communicative. It's a great energy. I always say, though, with the Night energies, make sure the walk matches the talk, especially the Wands, right? Because the Wands is also, it's passion, it's motivation, but it's also the idea of, it's a very sexual energy as well. So we have this new relationship coming in for some of you. For others of you, it's could be a new cycle within the relationship, because we did have the Judgment energy here. So if you're resonating with it as a new cycle, this new, very passionate, very fired up cycle. But you're in this space of the Five of Wands. Very, very interesting, right? Five of Wands energy. feeling very, this is Saturn and Leo energy. I'm going to say competitive, I guess, but it could be that. But where there's just this lack of agreement, very strong opinions, battle of the wills about how something should be. And the thing is, there can almost be this element, this weird element of competition. It's so weird when that's in like relationship, right? Where it's like this one-upping each other. You know, the scorekeeping energy. Well, I do this. What do you do? Well, you did that, so I did that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's that kind of thing. So right now, but you're in this space where you're just like, look, I can't agree with you. You know, these opinions, I can't. You're going to be in this space where you feel like you're fighting to be heard. You feel like you're fighting to be heard into the air. Into the air. Because it's almost like you want to have a good conversation. You want to. Two of Cups is a good conversation. And this is the energy that's surrounding you right now. But it's like, damn it, why can't you see? And you can be in this space where it's like, how could they not see what they're doing in this situation? I'm not saying Libra, for those of you who are cross-watching, I'm not saying Libra is perfect. Nobody ever is in relationship. But I feel like right now, at least from a subjective point, Libra right now is saying, how does this person not see what the problem is in this situation? How could they not see what the problem is as far as how either A, they're treating me, B, what they're not willing to do, C, what they're putting upon me? Do you know what I mean? And you're here like, can't we just like, come on. Can't we just have some harmony? Because this is all you want. You want to have a really effective conversation here. You really do. Because you want things to go in a better direction. You really don't want the drama. You don't. If somebody came along and said, Libra, what is your wish? He would be like, all right, let me write a little list. It's not that long. It's not that complex. But if I can only have these needs met, wow, would life be so different? You know, and then you always have to get into, are you maybe trying to project something onto a relationship or a person that you know they're capable of, but that they're just not able to do because it's not who they are right now at this point in their life? You know, and that's where it can become very sticky. But we have the Three of Pentacles in your block position, in your challenge. And here you're feeling very blocked in being able to join forces in this relationship. You're having a really hard time feeling like you guys are partnered, right? That you guys are able to collaborate energies together and work at things equitably and just have a successful relationship. Because it does seem like there's a lot of imbalance that's going on here. And you're not okay with this. You're just simply not. We have in the near future, some of you, right? General message. So let's just give you all that it could mean and what I'm getting, right? Could always be interpreted other ways other than the messages that I'm getting. But I am getting that some of you are going to be meeting somebody completely new. Completely new, okay? That's going to be for some of you, especially if you're single right now. Who's great, who values tradition. Emperor energy in the upright is nice. Others of you are going to be sitting down and having that conversation about future plans and practical matters, right? And addressing whatever needs to be addressed in a current relationship that you're in order for you to be able to move things forward. Now, what a lot of you guys are going to be recognizing is you guys have to work harder at the relationship with this Hermit energy, right? Because the Hermit really is about, all right, you know, maybe we need to put a lot more energy and work into this to smooth over the issues that we're talking about here. Maybe we need to spend more time together, do more things together, find commonalities, work at this together, rather than staying in like separate corners and sort of functioning a little too autonomously within the relationship. So that's going to be for another bunch of you. Others of you are just going to be like, bye, relationship. I don't want to know from this anymore. Kind of just want to do me and be on my own. As the Emperor is about leadership. And it's about just getting out there and doing you and being you, taking control of your life. Wanting to be the leader of your own life and wanting to feel really secure in wherever it is. So if you're feeling very insecure in a relationship, you're not going to want to stay in that anymore. You're just not. And you're just going to move forward and just say, all right, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. Let me just go and problem solve at the top of a mountain. Go away by myself, right? so that you don't repeat things in the future, situations in the future. Yeah. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, and the world is clarifying that. So interesting. Because I feel the Page of Cups is, first of all, really nice energy, right? This is some kind of good news, right? Coming in, having to do either with love or your family or something like that. This is also a new potential partner is like right there. So for those of you resonating with that Emperor energy before, and the world is just beautiful, having learned a lesson. This is happiness, fulfillment, and loving. So for some of you, the Page of Cups can indicate a new cycle within the relationship, and it's talking about the lessons that have been learned after going through everything that you've gone through. And then we have the Great Temperance energy, which is about a new level of trust and patient cooperation in the relationship after a really difficult time. This is a new level of trust. Trust is necessary here. And then we have the Hierophant, which is the marriage card, but it's also expectations and the ability to conform. It's about connection and tradition and being able to emotionally develop the relationship in a more positive way through empathy and through a lot of cooperation about what's needed. Then we have the High Priestess energy and the Ten of Cups. So very nice. I mean, we have the High Priestess is a very secretive energy, though. You know, it is. It's just a very internal energy. It's a moon energy. Now, the High Priestess, though, in numerology is connected to the Justice, right, which is your energy, and Judgment, which we talked about. So it's about fairness, and it's about recognizing the past, right? And you're going to be doing a lot of thinking. Even though you want to let go of the past, you don't want to live in the past, you're also saying, okay, I'm willing to work through whatever we went through, but I'm not willing to forget it because that would be silly. Doesn't mean I'm not forgiving, doesn't mean, but I'm not forgetting. And this is where you're going to be. Because we have the Ten of Cups energy, beautiful, about contentment, knowing the benefits of security, great energy for partnership, relationship, communication, romance, beautiful. But you're not forgetting where you've been with this person and what happened in the past. Some of you, and this is not going to resonate with all of you, but some of you may be harboring feelings for somebody from the past as you move forward with another relationship. So it's knowing that you're still carrying somebody on your heart, but you're recognizing that the right thing to do is to move forward and just to sort of let that energy just fall away as it's meant to. So that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. If you like this video, if this was helpful in any way, please share it, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.